Hello everyone, this is Rebecca from Papeterie de Choix, and I have a little bit of a different type of project here, one that I made up sort of as I went along. After finding this stack of these really beautiful yellow ochre, kind of mustard yellow envelopes in a thrift store the other day, I thought I really want to make something with one of those, and I made some tags with some of my DIY alcohol ink a few months ago using a color similar to this, and so it's not a color I would usually use, but for the type of project that was, which I will link at the end, I really liked it. So what I did was I took one of these envelopes and I just folded it up to make a series of pockets. So the first thing I did was I put the flap down in, side like that, scored it in the middle, folded it, then folded those back in on itself and glued the side and the bottom. And so what that did was create the two pockets that are here, and technically it is just one big pocket, and you could put glue there, but I didn't because it stays folded and they kind of stay. So I'm counting this as two pockets, and that's the middle of the envelope in this area. And then on the other side, which would be these two outside edges, that's what this is here and here. And the way I did these was because these envelopes are kind of old, the glue has kind of dried, and so it's easy to pop it loose. So I just took this in there and very gently just popped loose this little portion after I folded it. So that gave me this little pocket here with these little bitty tags in. And then when I glued the sections on the end around, that created a pocket in the middle. So you end up with 8 pockets altogether. So this is what we're going to make. Another one just like this. So with the envelope, I used half a sheet, or roughly half a sheet, of scrapbook paper, and this is from a 12 by 12 out of a paper pack that I got at Joann's a while back. And so let me get my workstation set up, and I'll give you all the measurements and everything, and then we'll get started. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is just lay your envelope out with the open side up. I know this is kind of hard to see a little bit, and this envelope is 10 1/4 inches long, so I scored it at 5 1/8, like so, and then folded it so that the open is on the outside, and then as soon as I get these edges evened up, we'll burnish it. So then you just want to burnish that edge, that score line that you just made, like, because you got several layers of paper in there. So then the next thing I did was I didn't score this part because it was there was no real point, but what I did do is just bring this over right up to, but not covering, that score line on this outside. And I just folded that down, gave that a burnish, like so, and then did the same thing on the other side. So that you end up with this little backwards booklet almost. And then if it gives you any trouble like that, you can just put your bone folder in there and it'll usually just pop loose. But just bring that in, give it a good burnish, do that on both sides. I hear an ambulance going by. And so, actually I folded that the wrong way a while ago. But, and then just kind of straighten up your edges as you need to. Get everything burnished. And so when you're done, you should have something that looks like this. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is just inking my edges. And that's something that you can do or not do. That's completely up to you. But I'm going to ink the edges. That way it gives the envelope a little bit of definition. And then we'll be popping some of that glue loose so that we can make our pockets. And so, yeah, this part takes the longest, I think, sometimes. Now here, now on the other one, this glue here popped loose in here, so I just reattached that. So I treat, like I said, I'm treating this as two pockets because of the fold. But I'm just gonna put just a little ink along those lines, just a little bit. And let me do that just a little bit better. Okay, and then on this side, you want to ink that a little bit. And I suppose you could do this also before you even did any folds, but it didn't occur to me to do that, so. But either or. We all get there in the end, right? Okay. Do that one just a little bit more. Okay, now, the other thing I'm going to do is come in here. Now, I don't want to pop it loose here, but I do want to pop it loose here very gently. See how easy that was? It just, because it's old. And if it's a new envelope, you might not be able to do this part. But I'm just going in and just enough to pop it loose so that I can have that as a little pocket. And now I'm going to give it just a little bit of ink right up to that fold line on both sides. Like so. Okay. I probably could just go ahead and do that. Not that it's used, but it just keeps the eye flowing, I suppose. Now, next is glue. I'm going to move this out of my way because I actually don't need it anymore. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here so that doesn't pop back open. Like I said, because it is an old envelope. and let that go down that way. Now here we're going to be gluing on the two outside flaps along the bottom, and then down this outside edge, and that's going to go like that. And then we're going to do the same thing here, and I'm going to press this with the iron here shortly, so that it will hold. I only use PVA. I don't use the glues that stick the minute it hits the paper. So I'm going to take this over to my iron and glue that, and then we'll go on to the next step. I think I said I was going to go over there and glue it, but I had already glued it. I'm going to go over there and press it. That's what I meant to say. Okay, so now what we've got is a folded up pocket with essentially two pockets here, a pocket here and here, here and here, and then one in the middle of the top of each side. So that's it made. Now you can decorate this more so, and if you're doing it out of other papers, you could add some little pockets on the inside of here, but I'm not doing that in this project because I just wanted it to be the envelope. Now, the way that I cut the paper, the way that I cut the 12 by 12 was, this envelope is just a touch over 4.5 inches. So I cut my paper across at 5 inches, and then again at another 5 inches, which left me a 2-inch strip. What I did was I then cut each of these in 2-inch wide sections, because the pocket is a little over 2.5, or right at 2.5, and I wanted everything to fit well, and I wanted to use up the whole paper, so I cut it in 2-inch strips to give me 6 tags. And then with the 2-inch strip that's left over, that's what I'm putting in the little bitty pocket, and I cut 4 at 1.5 inches. So that's what we're about to do here, is we're just going to cut 6 tags. Oh, you know what? I'm forgetting to do something. On these, you can see the difference here. I sprayed these with my DIY coffee ink, and so I'm going to do that before I cut them, and then I'll come back and do that. I was about to forget, but I don't want the stark white, so I want to spray the back just slightly. So I will do that, and then I will be right back. Okay, now we can get on with the program. So I just sprayed these with the coffee ink, and this paper, usually it comes out looking like coffee, you know, the color of coffee, but this paper, for whatever reason, what it's made from, I suppose, it just made it this really pretty, like, creamy, mushroom brown color. So that's fine. So anyway, what we're doing now is we're cutting this piece of 12 by 12 into 2-inch sections, just so that we can have 6 of these tall little tags to go in. And when we get to the little ones, I have a little trick. I suppose it could be called a trick, that I had to figure out in order to use I'm using this punch for the top of the tags, and these are very short, so I know that if you've tried to do short pieces of paper inside of a punch like this, it's hard to hold it and get it where you want it to be. So I come up with a way to do this, and that worked for me, at least with this one. So I'll show you that here in just a second. So put that to the side. And so, like I said, I'm using my this for around the bottoms, and then this one. Now the top is fine. You got plenty of room to hold it and do all of that. But on these little bitty ones, you don't. And that one turned out a little bit. I must have. This one turned out just a tad short, but that's fine. So this is what I did, and I try to punch with my punches turned over so I can see. So I have these big tweezers, and I forget exactly what they're for, but I'm doing 2 at a time. And so I just put it in there, and I pushed it in using these. There we go. Using these tweezers as far as it would go in that little slot, like that. And then I just turned it over real gently, got it evened up, and then just easy, and not bad. So that's what I did to get it in there as far as it would go. Now it might be different getting it out. And so that one can go. That little mechanism that holds it, that that it punches, can sometimes get in the way. Okay, so that's those done. So that's my little trick of just using those long tweezers to make sure it gets all the way in, because there's no way you can do it and hold it with your fingers. So now we're going to do these, and I'll be doing these 2 at a time. Now these, since they should go in fine, so I can do those right side up, or with the thing right side up. Did I do 3? Oh my goodness. It was laying upside down, and for whatever reason I couldn't see it. There we go. Alright. Now, so now I'm going to take these and just round these little corners at the bottom just a little bit. And I've been wanting to use some of this scrapbook paper for a while now, but the main papers that I want to use, I've still got to come up with a project to use them, but the paper pad that I bought at Joann's is called Mariposa, and we don't have a Joann's here. I think I've said this in another video. So we went to visit our son in Fayetteville, I guess about 3 weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, and so I got to go to the Joann's there, and pick me out a few things, and this paper pad was one that I got. I don't need any more paper, and I really have got to do some projects with some scrapbook paper and start using some of it back up again. So, and I chose this paper with the butterflies on it because the color of the envelopes and then these little butterflies, the color combos that they are, seemed a little retro, like retro 70s kind of colors. And so I thought, okay, let's do something that's got this little retro look to it a little bit, maybe. So I don't know that I've actually accomplished that, but it's it was what I was going for anyway. So, but no, I just I'm really liking this envelope thing, and you could do it with any size envelope. The longer the better, though, as far as that goes. But height-wise, you could do it and put taller tags in also. But I think what I was trying to say is, in this project, I'm letting the scrapbook paper be the decoration and not really decorating it per se. But and I know that this inking part here is kind of monotonous and boring, but it's one of those things that has to be done if you're if you like your projects look a little bit vintage, then inking is something that has to be done. There's no real way around it. At least I don't think so. But anyway, we're almost there. It's like, so yeah. And the other thing too it reminded me of was spring. We're getting our saucer magnolias, the big pink ones. They're starting to bloom already. Daffodils have been up for a couple of weeks or longer, all bloomed out. I've got irises, big purple irises in full bloom in front of my house. My husband said to me over the weekend, he said, "You want to take your camera out there and take pictures?" And I'm like, no, not really. I've taken pictures of them before. What I want to do is go take pictures of all the derelict houses and rusty vehicles that I see up and down the road when I go visit my parents that I never take time to stop and take pictures of when I go. That's what I want to do. But it's still a little chilly in the mornings. And so, oh, did I miss two? I missed two. Thought that went way too fast. So yeah, it's a 3-hour drive from my house to their house, or to my daughter's, either or. When I go up the mountain, I go up the same way to a certain point, and if I want to go see my parents, then I split off and go the right-hand way. and drive like the last hour to my parents, or I go left to my daughter's. And they live in the same county, but my parents live on one side of the county and my daughter lives on the other side of the county. So I have to adjust that way. But there's all kinds of these old houses falling down, and some of them I have stopped and taken pictures of, and some of them I'm really glad that I have. There was an old house that got exposed when they were clearing some land next door to where they're building a new middle school in a town. It's the last county in South Carolina that I go through before I get into North Carolina, and I think they were clearing it to build maybe a ball field or something. Anyway, there was this old house, and they'd left a few trees around it, so I stopped and took some pictures on my way back home. This was back in the fall. And so I was going up about once a month, and when I went back the next time, they had tore it down, and I'm like, I am so glad I got pictures of that before they tore it down, because some old dilapidated houses and things like that have been around for 100 or more years, and there's no record, there's nothing. So I sort of take it upon myself to create a record, so to speak. Okay, so the only thing we have left to do now is just create us a few little ties for these tags, and I'm going to do something kind of shortish. So I've got 10 tags. I guess it's 10, isn't it? Yes, 10. I don't know why I forgot that. But I should have enough of this green left. I know this green is a little bright, but I've had it for a good long while, and I've not really used it on, not really had anything else to use it on. So I'm just making it work on this little project. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's just going to be enough, isn't it? So 8, 9, and 10, and hopefully I counted all that right. Okay, so let's get our our tags over here, and let's fill this little thing up. I think this could be a project that you could take it a lot further and do a lot more decorating with it and get some really nice results with more decoration, and also the size of your envelope would create a huge change in the size and shape of the pocket. Okay, so there's those. And let's now go and put the ones in the middle. And I know these are turning out to be just alike, but I didn't want to have the scrap paper and then get a whole new piece of paper just to do the second one. So now we're going to put you right down in that middle like that. And turn this way. So yeah, I've got one more project to do this week before the new schedule starts. So starting with Friday's video, we'll have a completely different take on projects and all that sort of thing. So I'm really looking forward to that. Now, okay, this can go down in there like that, and one more big one. And yeah, I think I will experiment with different size envelopes and just see what can be done with these. Now, because there's so much right here, what I did with is I pulled the ones in the middle up just a little bit, just to help relieve some of the bulk aspect of things. So now let's do these little bitty ones. If I can get my fingers to work. I was going to staple them and I just didn't. I didn't like the idea of how the staple would look with this, so I decided against the staple and just decided to tie them on. Although stapling probably would relieve a lot of the bulk, I would think. Okay, let's do that one that way. And it don't want to cooperate, it wants to flop around all over the place. Okay, and one more. I'm looking to see which way the lace is the right side, so I'm trying to keep it to the outside. Not that it always works, but I am trying. Okay, so I'm going to pull these up just, oh, I missed that one. Just a little bit more. There we go. So there's that. Now, the other one, I had some lace left over to tie it. And this time I'm not going to have that. Let's put that in there. And that in there. That in there. Pull these up just a little bit. And put those in like that. So, we've got twins, sorta. Now, could do that and tie them together. Yeah. Okay. Well, that empties the card. That's all I had left. So that can go in the scrap drawer. It will be something. But this is the project for Tag Along Tuesday. I really like this this envelope pocket thing. I'm gonna make some more of these, I think, with various envelopes, and I might even open one of these up and design an envelope from it using maybe some wrapping paper or something like that to give it a design. That would be pretty. So thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you with another project very soon.